Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a tool that's really central to understanding huge amounts of information, especially in academic research. We're exploring how data analysis, which, let's face it, can sound pretty complex, can actually be made simpler. Simple enough to pull out really meaningful conclusions. And our focus for this deep dive, it's a real powerhouse. IBM SPSS. That stands for the Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. So our mission today is to unpack why SPSS is such a cornerstone in academia. We want you to understand how researchers take raw data and turn it into solid, reliable insights, across fields like psychology, sociology, education, business.
Exactly. And, the core idea of data analysis isn't just about number crunching. It's really about that transformation, taking raw info and turning it into actual knowledge you can use, finding the patterns, the truths hidden inside sometimes very messy data, and having the right tools for that. Well, that's absolutely critical.
Okay, so researchers in academia, they're under pressure, right? They need precision, they need efficiency. What is it about SPSS that makes it sort of ideal for meeting those pretty intense demands? Why is it the go-to for so many?
Well, I think a big part of it is trust. And its long history. SPSS has built this reputation over decades, really. Students, scholars, professionals, they trust it.
Yeah.
Because it lets them run complex statistics. But with this blend of ease and accuracy, it's kind of a standard path now, date to insight across so many different areas.
Right. So let's dig into that. The user-friendly interface that gets mentioned a lot, but what's the real impact of that? Beyond just saying it's easy, how does that actually change things for a researcher, especially maybe one who isn't like a statistics whiz?
That's a really important point. It's not just about being easy. It's about what that ease unlocks. The interface, it looks a lot like a spreadsheet, which most people are familiar with. So navigating it feels pretty intuitive, even if you're just starting out. But the truly profound thing is this. Researchers can perform really sophisticated analyses without writing code. Not a single line.
Ah, okay. No coding needed.
Exactly. And that frees up so much mental energy. They can focus on it, interpreting the results, thinking about what it means for their research question, instead of getting bogged down in, syntax or programming logic.
That no code aspect, yeah, that sounds like a massive advantage for accessibility. But you mentioned sophisticated analysis. What kind of statistical power are we really talking about here? Is it deep enough for serious academic work or more for the basics?
Oh, absolutely. It definitely handles the heavy lifting. And then some. It offers really comprehensive statistical capabilities. I mean, from your basic descriptive statistics, calculating means, frequencies, that sort of thing.
Standard stuff?
Right, standard stuff. But then all the way up to advanced inferential tests. We're talking t-tests, ANOVA, chi-square tests, complex regression models, even things like factor analysis. And the smart part about SPSS is how it helps you choose and apply the right test for your data. It guides you. That really reduces the chance of making methodological errors.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, it's something practical. I imagine dealing with real-world data. It's messy, right? Data rarely comes perfectly clean. How does SPSS help researchers with that initial, often painful step of cleaning and preparing the data?
Yeah, that's often the unglamorous but totally essential part of research. And SPSS really shines here pragmatically. Raw data, it's almost always messy. It needs work before you can analyze it properly. So SPSS has built-in tools specifically for data cleaning and preparation. You can easily spot missing data, deal with outliers, recode variables if you need to, even compute totally new variables from the ones you have.
So it helps tidy things up before the analysis.
Precisely. It ensures you're working with a clean, solid data set. And that's crucial because, let's be honest, your conclusions, they're only as good as the data you started with. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Absolutely. And thinking about academia, again, credibility, reproducibility, these are like the gold standards. How does SPSS help researchers ensure their findings are solid and that other people can verify them, especially when there's complex analysis happening under the hood?
Yeah. That's fundamental. Accuracy, reproducibility. You can't have credible research without them. And SPSS is designed with this in mind. It generates very detailed output. Statistical tables, charts. They're clear, easy to interpret, and formatted in a way that's perfect for dropping right into a thesis, a research paper, a journal article.
Okay, so the output itself is designed for sharing and scrutiny.
Exactly. This clear, consistent output makes it easy for others to document what you did, understand it, and critically replicate it or build on it. It really supports that whole open science culture.
Given all the ease of use, the power, the reliability, the focus on reproducibility, I'm guessing it's pretty standard in universities globally. How widespread is it really?
Oh, its acceptance is huge. Almost universal, I'd say. Most universities worldwide will either strongly recommend SPSS or actually provide access to it for their students and faculty.
Wow.
Yeah, and that widespread adoption really speaks volumes about its reliability, the amount of support and documentation available, and just how well it fits into the standard academic research workflow. It's become, in many ways, a common language for quantitative research.
Okay, so we've really covered the why SPSS is such a vital tool in the academic toolkit. Now, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the where. Where do we actually see SPSS making a difference, bringing those statistical powers to light in different fields?
Right, the applications. Well, its impact is incredibly broad.
Mm.
If you look at the social sciences, psychology, sociology, it's indispensable. Analyzing large surveys, measuring psychological constructs,
Hmm.
finding trends in behavior, that's often SPSS at work.
Surveys behavior?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Then think about education research. Evaluating teaching methods, did this new approach actually work better? Analyzing test scores, understanding what drives student engagement, SPSS is used heavily there too.
Okay, education too?
And business studies, market research relies on it. Analyzing consumer behavior, why do people buy what they buy? Assessing how well a company is performing operationally. That often involves SPSS analysis to guide decisions.
Right, market research, performance metrics.
And it doesn't stop there, even in the health sciences. It's used in analyzing data from clinical trials, supporting big epidemiological studies, tracking disease patterns across populations, and even measuring things like patient satisfaction to improve healthcare quality. That's quite a range. Social science, education, business, health. It really is everywhere. It's fascinating, isn't it? Just take a moment, listening to this to think about how these applications might touch on areas you're interested in or studies you follow. Or maybe it just broadens your view of how research, often quietly in the background, shapes so many different aspects of our world. So, wrapping this up, what's the core takeaway here? What does SPSS really represent for you, the listener? At its heart, it seems to be this bridge. It connects the complexity of statistics with, well, usability for researchers in academia. It really empowers people to find insights and data, even if they aren't coding experts.
I think that's spot on. It's a unique mix. It's powerful,
Yet relatively simple to use, and it carries this weight of academic credibility. That combination makes it truly foundational for students just starting out on their first research project, all the way up to seasoned researchers doing cutting-edge work. It's a tool for the entire journey.
So here's a final thought for you to maybe chew on. How might understanding the power behind tools like SPSS change the way you look at research findings, whether it's in the news, in your job, or just things you read? What hidden stories might be waiting in the data you encounter every day, even if you're not the one running the analysis yourself? Something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.